Hey, and welcome back to another episode of the Girl Boss podcast, hosted by myself, Ritu Bra. So today we are going to be discussing maybe this is an early topic, but it's early for me to mention this topic, but I wouldn't say that it's early for us to think about preparing for it. So I'm going to say, just for clarity in terms of dates, today is the 29th of September, and I can't exactly work out how many weeks we've got until Christmas, but let's put it at roughly around, I think it's 12 weeks from Monday. So when we're thinking about our fitness goals, so say you want to get looking leaner, you want to maybe look a bit more toned, especially as we get into Christmas. We do have more social events, we have work events as well, we've got dinners planned, things like that, and also, although it might be a time of year that, especially here in the UK, you will be wrapped up. You'll be out for dinner, you'll be out to parties. So this is where it comes to the traditionalism of the whole wearing a little black dress, let's say, for example. So let's say, for example, by Christmas, I want to drop 1 to 2 dress sizes. So, that's not really thinking about scales or anything like that. That's just thinking about tightening up, looking a bit more toned, maybe wearing a dress that I always wear around Christmas time. And I just want to make sure that it just fits in the right places, in the areas that I'm used to. Because you don't always want to go out and buy a new dress every Christmas. That would get very costly, wouldn't it? Especially because it is a costly time of year. Lots of presents, lots of meals out again, events. Maybe you want to go to Winter Wonderland, God knows, whatever it is that you love to do with your time around Christmas. So I'm going to tell you exactly how I would and what I have done in the past when I've wanted to drop 1 to 2 dress sizes. And in this case, in time for Christmas. So with it being September this year, we've had a bit more of an extended summer period. We're actually heading into October in a couple of days, and it's still pretty warm for this time of year. So, but with that being said, I get that summer is over. It's pretty much over. And for a lot of people, motivation is out the window. Your winter PJs, they make a show, and you definitely can't think of anything worse than having to do your 10K steps in the miserable UK weather, because yes, cue brollies, wellies and colds. Here in the UK, it just rains. It just rains a lot. And if it's raining and it's winter, it's colder. And having to do 10K steps. So let's say you work from home, having to do 10K steps is just horrible, right? So it doesn't have to be this way, because I'm going to share exactly what I would and what I have done to drop 1 to 2 dress sizes in time for Christmas. I know I'm repeating myself here, but just to get clear, we want to set goals. So I'm going to give you 5 or 6 steps. We want to set clear goals. So you want to identify firstly what your actual target dress size is. And then you want to create a realistic plan to actually achieve that within said specific time frame. So let's say 12 weeks here. Aside from this, you want to get away from, so if you've got a gym membership, which most of us kind of get gym memberships around winter, or maybe you've got cardio equipment at home. You just want to ditch the hours of cardio and you want to lift weights instead. And I get it. You kind of think, isn't it cardio that I need to be doing to lose the weight? Well, actually, you want to make sure you're getting, if we're looking for that leaner toner build, we want to think about retaining, or let's say that you're actually quite petite. Maybe you want to put on some muscle to some curves. You want to grow your glutes. And let's say that you want to, perhaps maybe you want to lose, you want a bit of fat loss. Well, you want to maintain your curves as you lose weight. So nobody wants to be, skinny and with just like skinny fat, basically, because that's what cardio will do to you. If you literally do cardio and you do no lifting, that's what it will do to you. So you want to make sure that you are lifting weights. And again, I'm going to say you might need to invest in a gym membership. Excuse me while I take a quick sip of water. Yes. So yeah, look, don't always need the gym, but excuse me, if you are working out from home, you want to make sure that you've got decent weights, dumbbells, barbells, that sort of thing. So moving on to point number 3, you want to invest in weatherproofs and get that NEAT up. So NEAT, what does that mean? I've talked about it recently on a podcast. Non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So as an umbrella term, it actually stands for all the movement that we are doing that is not exercise. So yes, fidgeting comes under that. Your steps come under that. You're walking, you're gardening, you're moving around, you're commuting, whatever that looks like for you, right? But what you want to do when I say invest in weatherproofs is, unfortunately, you're just going to have to suck it up. You need to keep that NEAT up. We get into winter, it gets colder. Generally, comfort foods come back out, our hunger, maybe we start feeling a little bit hungrier because we're colder, we need to get warmer, we need more energy. Now, if your NEAT is low, then you're not really going to be in that deficit. You're not going to tone up the way that you want to. You're not going to get that fat loss that you want to. So you really need to ensure that you invest in some weatherproofs. So for me, I literally live in hiking boots. I've got hiking trainers, actually. They're actually really quite cool. They look pretty cool, actually. I'll wear them. I'll wear them when I go on my walks and I walk to the gym as well. And actually, if me and my partner, we go for like a day out in London, I will literally just stick these hiking trainers on. They're pretty cool. So yeah, I would definitely get some weatherproofs going. Jacket, rain jacket. You live in the UK, you've got to own one of those. If not, you need to get yourself one. And then, yeah, you can't go wrong with a brolly. So if you hate the rain like me, just get covered up. Okay. I did talk about this slightly and about a deficit, but you want to track your calories. You want to also consume more protein. You want to, so on me personally, I would devise like a weekly meal plan just to take decision fatigue out of what I want to eat and when, especially when I'm working from home. I don't want to sit there and have too many choices, because then when you're thinking about what to make for dinner, you are more likely to go and snack. You're more likely to go and pick up odd bits here and there. So definitely get that meal plan, in order, and make sure that when we are tracking calories and we're thinking about protein, you actually know how to create that deficit. You need to actually create that deficit. So it's not just tracking the calories. You need to make sure that you know how much you should be consuming. And then when we're thinking about protein, there are all manner of figures out there. But when we're thinking, about fat loss, for example, that number in terms of protein can be anything between 1.2 to 1.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Okay. So let's say, for example, let's work this out for you, actually. I'm going to get my calculator out, and you can do the same as well. Let's say, for example, I weigh 60 kilos. Okay. So I'm going to go 60, and I want to go at the lower end of the protein, just to kind of show you that it's not as high as you think. So if I go 1.2, it's only 72 grams of protein. Now, I am a vegan. We do not struggle for protein, but depending on your food choices, you might. So let's say that I really want to make sure that maybe I actually want to build a bit of muscle as well. I want the fat loss, but I want a bit of, looking a bit more toned. So let's say we increase that protein intake and go to about 1.8 times by my body weight. We're looking at about 108. So do you know what? If you want a little bit more specificity and some help on that, just reach out and let me know. Okay. Aside from that, my fifth tip is work, play, and actually sleep. It is incredible how many people don't consider sleep when it comes to things like, do you know what? Sleep is an interesting one. Like, I can appreciate that it's hard because you're busy. There are lots of external pressures out there. You've got deadlines to meet. You've got friends, work colleagues. And actually, do you know what? I've been a sucker to this in the past, but Netflix, latest series will come out. You won't just limit yourself to one episode at a time. It's very easy to kind of binge watch. And that's where you're going to go wrong. Stop trying to keep up, and don't let FOMO get the best of your recovery. All the magic happens when you sleep. Like, honestly, just everything. Good quality sleep is going to play a crucial role in that weight loss and your overall health. You're just going to feel better. Some people who are sleep deprived actually tend to feel a bit hungrier as well. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but I know I have. My final one would be to seek support and accountability. Now, there are many ways to do this. You can get yourself a friend, a fitness buddy, to help you, to give you some motivation. You can join some fitness classes. The trouble with that is great because you're going to get moving, but the trouble with that, it's not specific. So you can go to a class, but it's not specifically going to make you or help you drop to 1 to 2 dress sizes. It's a one size fits all. Everyone's going to be doing the same thing. And it's really difficult to monitor the intensity from week to week because you don't know what the teacher's going to be teaching, who the teacher is, and how they teach their classes. So yeah, classes are fun. They're great. They're great at helping keep you accountable. And even when it comes to workout buddies, you need to make sure that your workout buddy is actually serious. Now, what I mean by that, you go with your best mate, and what do? You don't actually have a plan. You just jump on cross trainer, or maybe you do start lifting weights and you found something on YouTube. Again, are you going to be really pushing each other? Is it somebody who's experienced in resistance training? If so, then it can be great. It can be really motivating. But again, if it's not, it can be quite a bit of a distraction, if I'm honest. So if you feel like you do know what you're doing, make sure you tell people around you. So tell your loved ones, tell your friends, tell Instagram, put it on there, let people know that you've got a job to do and you need to be held accountable. So yes, just to get that accountability and that support. My final one, I'm always going to say this, but get yourself a damn coach, because we've been there, we've done it. We know what we're doing. We know what we're talking about. We've got the education. We've got the experience. We've helped hundreds of people do exactly the same thing. We've been there ourselves. I've been there myself where, I've been bigger, I've been smaller. And, there will come times where as a coach, if I have actually put on a little bit more than my clothes actually fit, they don't fit, or they feel a bit snugger. Look, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just, if I want to lose a little bit more, I've been there, right? I can get leaner. I've done it for fitness competitions. I've actually done it this year. Although I didn't document it, I definitely started off the year a lot heavier than I am now. I got leaner for the summer, and now I'm more on a maintenance phase, but I will be looking over the summer to put on, winter, over the winter to do some groundwork and put on, a bit more lean muscle tissue. So anyway, I hope you found that helpful, and you found that those tips are something you just look, it's just a reminder that it can be done. And if you are working with me, you're not just going to be working on, you're not just going to be given a training plan and goodbye and here are your macros. We'll be working on literally changing your lifestyle, making sure that we can get you to that goal within realistic and very specific timeframes. You're going to get that extra push, that guidance. We're going to help change your mindset, and we're going to help get you out of a plateau if that's where you feel like you are now, especially if you have spent most of the summer in a calorie deficit and you've just been chasing fat loss goals. You can't do that forever, ladies. There needs to be a point where we come out of that. We start looking at something called reverse dieting, or even maintenance. So again, there are very strategic ways that we can get you back there, and then obviously then apply and help you get back into that calorie deficit again, if that's, if you are looking to get fat loss, weight loss happening. So yeah. Anyway, with that all being said, I hope you found this podcast of this episode helpful. If you've got any questions, if you want me to answer anything a little bit more specific, if you've got any topic suggestions, or actually you just need some guidance yourself and some help, then shoot me a message. Send me a message on Instagram. That's the best way to contact me. And it's at Richu Bra. And I'll spell that out for you, as I do every episode. RICHUBRAR. And I just want to make one last point here. If you're listening to the podcast, you won't get the video here, but you can actually find me on YouTube as well at Richu Bra. That's not all episodes are on there, but I've got a couple there. And I've got my sign up, just so you know, you go and have a look at it. I will put a post up on Instagram, but I've finally got the Girl Boss neon sign up on the wall. I actually bought this a few months ago, and it's been on my to-do list to stick it up. And would you believe it came with sticky back hooks? So I spent ages doing it, and it could have been done in 5 seconds. Anyway, thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time.